Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. My name is Shawn Dex. Welcome you back to the Mango Grow for your daily Bitcoin analysis video. It's a brand new week, and hey, it's a brand new month with some brand new opportunities beginning to show themselves. I have the beautiful, the gorgeous Krisha with me over here. Krisha, say hi.
And what's up, you guys? Welcome, and happy Tuesday to all of you.
Yes, Tuesday indeed. I was supposed to be doing a video yesterday. Unfortunately, got busy with actually managing trades and a bunch of other stuff too. So hey, there's a lot of things, a lot of interesting things that have been developing on the charts that I did not get to discuss with you guys yesterday. We did discuss a few of these things on the Discord chat yesterday with the Grove members and the Seed members. But hey, that's what we're going to be doing today. All right. We are going to be talking about what are the possibilities for this month to come. Because Feb, in my opinion, guys, it's time to focus. It's time to keep your eyes open because Bitcoin and hey, Ethereum as well are looking like they're about to be making some explosive moves. It may come suddenly. It may not come at all. But we will be talking about in today's video for what to look out for, right? What are the big signs to keep an eye out for to get on guard? Because you don't want to be caught with your pants down deep in altcoins while Bitcoin takes off on you. So, Krisha, with that, any thoughts before we start?
No. So I was kind of waiting on you yesterday because Shawn, let's not forget now, you probably already remember, but we did close a monthly and a weekly. So more importantly, I'm kind of very interested to know your thoughts on, well, the two closes.
Yes, I actually do have the monthly chart opened up over here, Krisha. So if you do want to start with the monthly, we're going to be starting with that right now.
Beautiful.
All right, so you have the monthly, guys, and as you guys can see, Bitcoin giving us that monthly close, but not giving us the close we were looking for. We were looking for 35,500-ish, right? And Bitcoin closing at around 33,500. Now, this isn't the best close, but at the same time, it isn't an ugly or a bad close either. Now, what we'd be looking for from over here is follow through, okay? If Bitcoin takes out the high of the previous month at around 41,000, 42-ish thousand, then I'm going to be looking at much higher numbers, around 50,000. Actually, I'll be looking all the way up to around 55,000 to 60,000. That being said, on the flip side, if we see the bears step in and take out the low of this candle over here at around 27,500, I'll be looking, Kisha, all the way back down to the dynamic. Kisha, I do have the monthly dynamic right now opened. I'm not sure if you have yours up, but it's pointing at 19,800.
Whoa.
And yeah, this is a shout out to Wolvie out there from the C program. We've been talking about that $19,800 level ever since Bitcoin popped out of that $20,000 high. And hey, you know, when you least expect it, Bitcoin will give it to you. So, Wolvie, if you are still waiting for it, you do have a case now for it, right? If we take out that monthly low at around 27,500, eventually there is a case for Bitcoin making it down to that $19,800 level. Krisha, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, of course, anything can happen in these markets, and I think what's happened with this last sort of monthly close, I think compared to all the other months, this one is easily one of the weaker months in terms of candle close that we've had in since, well, we broke out of that 20K region.
Yeah.
So we may actually see a pullback, right? But 19,000, yeah, it could come, but I feel like we still have other important levels that we actually need to take out before 19,000 even becomes a target.
Yep, I do agree with that. And you did put that out really well. So essentially, guys, when we do talk about these levels on the higher time frames, right, on the monthly, on even the weekly, for example, you guys need to keep in mind that Bitcoin is not going to just go straight down or straight up. Well, sometimes Bitcoin does just that, but usually the case is that we stair-step our way down or up, right? Prices move in a trend. So what happens is prices will find support on the other time frames, bounce a little bit or resist a little bit, and then again make its way down. So eventually, right, the higher time frame trends do hold precedent. And Krisha, on that note, actually, it's really important to point out that the monthly is in a massive uptrend. If you just zoom out,
Yeah.
This is the ascending triangle of Bitcoin's macro time frame breaking towards the upside, okay? Meeting its measured move, which was around 35,000, 40,000, and now we are just seeing some resistance over there. So seeing a higher low being put in at around 20,000 isn't that ugly or that unforeseeable. If you were to just look at this and ignore the nominal value, ignore that we are sitting at such big numbers, even ignore the time frame, and just what if this was a 4-hour chart or a daily chart or a 1-hour chart coming down to test that level on this structure, which you would be marking at around the high of 19,800, isn't that unreasonable? Right? So now that, guys, is the bear case. I'm starting with the bear case over here because I am extremely bullish on Bitcoin, and based on what I'm seeing on the mid time frames to even the lower time frames, I'm actually liking what Bitcoin is doing, especially around that $32,000 to $35,000 region. Now, speaking of that $35,000 region, Krisha, in our last video, you and I discussed how we were looking for that monthly to close about 35,500-ish, right?
Yes.
Now, we're going to see throughout this video and actually throughout this week that the $35,000 level is going to be really, really pivotal. It keeps coming up. Throughout this analysis on multiple time frames, I keep coming across that $35,000 region having a key implication on multiple time frames. So we're seeing confluence over there. So that's something to look out for, guys, going forward throughout this month. As soon as Bitcoin starts clearing convincingly above that 35K, it's time to watch out. So with that being said, Krisha, let's switch on over to the weekly time frame and just get a feel for what that's looking like right now.
Yeah.
And
I think so if you look at the weekly, right? I mean, you zoom out of this chart, guys, you cannot not see it. It's a massive bull flag. All right. So, and even if I just give me 1 second, I just want to pull up my 10 simple moving average here. And look at how we've been holding the 10 simple moving average. So far, we're kind of hugging it. You know, we haven't lost it yet. Could we lose it on this next weekly candle? Maybe.
Where's the 10 simple moving average coming in at, Krisha? I don't have it up over here right now.
Okay, so I'm currently using that Coinbase exchange. The 10 simple is coming in at around 29,700-ish. Yeah, okay. Sorry, 29,400 to be like super precise.
It's really interesting that you mentioned the 10 SMA, Krisha, because it's coming in smack right in between the Mango dynamic at the moment. So essentially what I've gone ahead and done is mark in a horizontal over there. So now I have a really nice zone of support over there coming in from around 32,000 all the way down to 29,000. And if you think about it, Krisha, Bitcoin hasn't really broken that zone at all. Every candle has closed above it. In fact, we've put in a low on the week of the 18th of Jan, right? We put in a low there that we were looking for Bitcoin to break if we were to see further continuation towards the downside. And that low was defended last week, right?
Yeah.
That key low of 28,931, guys, that is now beginning to be a very, very important wick right over there. So in fact, that's actually lining up perfectly with the Mango dynamic. So, wick underneath that level and I'll be looking for further downside. But as long as we're holding that as a higher low, guys, this is beginning to look more and more like that bull flag that we had hypothesized weeks ago, right? When Bitcoin came in and pushed towards that 40,000, people were expecting a pullback. And we said, yeah, even if we do see a pullback, what if this actually just turns into a massive bull flag on the weekly time frame? And Krisha, that's exactly what we're beginning to see over here.
Yeah. So that's what makes, structures like this, guys. I understand that everyone's waiting on the pullback, but really front running this can come back to bite you in the ass. In my opinion, I think Bitcoin is currently in a squeeze. We're in a very, very narrow squeeze between important resistance overhead, which is coming in at 35,000. Right? And there's important support. There's like a little zone of support. Now, I really like the dynamic, Shawn, in that it's actually marking out the zone very well right now.
Yep.
Okay. So that zone, by the way, guys, is between the first point is at, I'm saying 31,000. I'm looking for a weekly close underneath 31,000, going all the way down to, the level of the dynamic, which is at 28.8K. Yep. Right? And I say that we take out the first point, then there's a good chance that we come down at the very least to test the dynamic. If we start breaking that, then this is likely going to see continuation to the downside.
Yep. And I do want to mention, guys, that the dynamic has not flipped at all over here, right? It is
Yeah.
still trending towards the upside. The slope is still really, really aggressive, and it's nice. Like what I mean is, it's not too the equilibrium between the price and the dynamic is still tight, right? I'm liking this region. I was liking this region throughout the weekend, and I've been accumulating. We're going to be talking about why when we go on over to the lower time frames. We're going to see soon on the 4-day, the daily, and the 12-hour. I'm seeing confluence along some of my favorite key indicators, right, and structures that is making me very comfortable buying over here. And yes, we did see a pullback from around 40,000 all the way down to 30,000. But if you guys try to be too cute with all of this and try to time getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out, I think people are risking missing out on much bigger moves. And again, guys, I'm looking at around 55,000 to 60,000 if this consolidation resolves itself towards the upside. Kusha, I just want to quickly point out to everybody that if you go all the way back to the 19th of October, when the dynamic did flip from purple, which is consolidation, to green, okay, and we broke past that 12,000 range. Ever since then, the dynamic has just stayed aggressively sloping towards the upside. And look at the move. A lot of people missed out, right? I'm pointing this out because the lack of patience within people cost them a good 12,000 to 42,000 move. That's what percent is that? That's a 250% on Bitcoin. That's a nominal value. That's $30,000, guys. Okay, so be very careful trying to get cute with your Bitcoin. And if you guys are in altcoin positions, the key numbers that you need to be keeping an eye on, right? Two key zones. The first one we've already mentioned now is 35,500-ish. Now, Kusha, I'm going to go on over to the 4-day time frame now. I'm going to keep my Mango dynamic on. Okay, because I've been keeping my life really simple with the Mango dynamic. My trust in it is building dramatically every single day. I've been using on altcoins too, and it's been fantastic. Kusha, check out how the last 4-day candle closed right underneath the blue dotted buy opportunity or sell opportunity, depending on how you want to look at it, on the Mango dynamic, telling us that, hey, yes, we still do have some consolidation. That's lining up with that purple as well, right? The purple is where I've been accumulating my position. You're seeing that, right? And that's lining up with our weekly zone as well. You guys are seeing the confluence as well now, right? Seeing the weekly zone, the 4-day dynamic, and it's still underneath the blue dots. And I'm using that personally as a region of, hey, we're not yet ready to have that upside trust, right? As long as they're closing 4-day candles underneath it, right? We're not ready yet. And the last 2 4-day candles, in fact, the last 3 4-day candles have all closed underneath that blue dot.
Yeah.
Kusha, even the Elon Musk episode, even though we had a really nice upthrust, which, by the way, guys, even though it's really messy, has had strong implications, we still closed underneath, telling you, hey, yes, things are beginning to look better, but we are not there yet. What are your thoughts, Kusha?
I agree. They're, like you said, they're beginning to look better, but it's not there yet, and that's why I, like, personally, guys, I'm not front running this. Okay, like it's too critical right now. It could go either way, right? We could break to the upside, but we could also break to the downside. And Shawn, I'm kind of looking at Bitcoin right now on the 4-day time frame. Okay, and I'm noticing something. Yes, it's a bull flag, right? On the weekly, the 4-day as well, you can see like a very nice bull flag consolidation. However, I'm looking at things like the volume, I'm looking at the structure of price, and I'm looking at how, we've been getting rejected at that 35,000 region now for some time. Like, I'm currently on that 4-day time frame, 2-day, I'm looking at the 2-day, I'm looking at the 3-day, and it's like constant rejections. And if you look at that Elon Musk event, right, look at that sell-off. That was an ugly sell-off. We sold off only to come down and, well, sit below $35,000. And I think, okay, now this is maybe going to be a little too bearish, okay, but check it out. This is for everyone. This is a conversation, okay? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But are you seeing a descending triangle?
No, I'm not actually. So what's important to keep in mind, Krisha, is that while the 4-day has been really, really great for us in terms of getting in great positions, in terms of structure on the 4-day, Bitcoin can be very messy in terms of structure on the 4-day time frame. So pattern traders will suffer on the 4-day time frame. I'm sorry to say, pattern traders will suffer because the structure really lies on the higher time frames above the 4-day and the lower time frames underneath the 4-day, right? The 4-day is literally in between where the pattern traders play, right? And what at the end of the day, patterns are literally a combination, the combined behavior of the collective market participants. It's a collective market participant behavior being depicted on the chart. That's what patterns are. And the 4-day is not capturing that entirely, in my opinion, not clearly at the very least. If you zoom out, in fact, on Bitcoin, on the 4-day time frame, you're going to see that the clear structures that you're looking for very, very rarely happens on Bitcoin. On the 4-day. The easiest way to have been playing it is literally just finding a really, really nice trend and sticking to it, whether that be the 40-21 EMA or you're using the 4-day dynamic, which is what I've been using personally. Ever since we broke out again, we got super bullish was when we took the 4-day dynamic on October 7th, right? That was the big one. Remember, our first sign was the daily Ichimoku setup that gave us the beautiful setup at around 9,500ish, and then the confirmation was the 4-day dynamic, right? We look at all the time frames together to get a holistic view. And if you want to look at this over here, Krisha, in my opinion, it's better and more confirmed rather to look at the dynamic over here and be like, as long as we are holding the dynamic, which is coming in at around 30,000, right? It's not a bearish picture. It's a consolidation that may turn bearish, but we're not there yet, right? A descending triangle is, no, I'm not seeing it over here. I'm not seeing it over here.
Okay. No, fair enough. Because I'll be honest with you, even I'm a bit uncertain. Usually when I look at a pattern and I see it like for real, I'm very confident in actually pointing it out. This time, not so much.
So
right? That's why I figured let's just have a conversation on this, see what you see as well.
So this is what I have to say. Keep it simple, guys, and find a zone. And we've marked out the zone now for you guys on the weekly as well as on the 4-day. And you guys do not need the dynamic, right? We are showing it to you right over here. And each of these candles close every 4 days. It's not going to change. These levels aren't going to change we just opened a brand new 4-day candle. So we have 3 days and 18 hours. And we will be doing an update before then. So do not worry about it. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and talk about that descending triangle that you just mentioned, or rather, let's first talk about the structure that we can find on the lower time frames. And this is where the daily becomes really, really important, okay? I'm switching on over to the daily. I still have my dynamic open.
Okay.
Okay, so this is where the idea of a descending triangle completely breaks apart, and this is where I start getting extremely bullish regardless of the sell-off we saw on the Elon Musk candle. Now, I agree that sell-off was pretty aggressive and a lot of people were surprised by it because, hey, Elon Musk said it, man. Why isn't price mooning to the moon? Right? And guys, that's precisely why I do not trade events, right? You want to get into position. Firstly, guys, the charts will always tell you. The charts will always tell you when something big is about to happen. And once the event is actually posted, you do not want to be buying into the event because you've got to ask yourself, hey, is the event already priced in, right? So the time to have actually got bullish, Krisha, okay, on Bitcoin, or rather stopped getting bearish at the very least and close out your short positions, was when we saw this candle on the 27th of Jan, which closed underneath 30,600-ish. Do you see that? Horizontal at around 30,600. Let me just go ahead and adjust it. Yeah, it's 30,800-ish, right? We saw that candle close underneath, but the bears had no follow through. The high low from the weekly at 28,600 was defended, right? They didn't even come close to it. And then the next day, we had this bullish candle close above the zone at around 33,000 to 32,000.
Yeah.
So that candle, that daily candle, was when I'm like, all right, there's no reason now to doubt Bitcoin. And whatever descending triangle was being played out, Krisha, you could go ahead and draw. I'm going to be drawing a horizontal coming in from the wicks at around 42,000 and then 39,000. And then the major wick being right over here. Okay. This wick over here at 34,000. It's 34,896. That wick Once we took out that wick, it invalidated any descending triangle on this consolidation.
Fair enough.
Because that ended up being us taking out the lower high. We broke the downtrend on that candle. So yes, the Elon Musk episode happened. It had implications. It was sold into, but we broke the downtrend regardless. Okay. Now we've gone into a consolidation, but the downtrend is broken. We are holding between the dynamic on the blue dots and the dynamic on the upper end, which is still purple, indicating consolidation. This is exactly what the dynamic allows you to see without really making it too complicated with the wick lows and the wick highs, right? It's showing you consolidation. It's leaning right now. You can't lean bearish over here because you're still above the blue dots, right?
Yeah.
If you were underneath it, like on the 4-day, you'd be like, all right, cool. It is more bearish than bullish, but on the 4-day, the dynamic is underneath it, right? The horizontal is underneath it. So even over there, we're under consolidation. I'm going to switch to the 4-day for people to understand what's going on. Okay. On the 4-day time frame, the blue dots is above it, yes, but we have the dynamic underneath it. Okay, yes, consolidation, but again, you have to lean a little bit bullish because price is not underneath the purple. Now, daily, it's the exact same scenario, but the same situation. You cannot lean bearish just yet. While we were underneath the blue dots, yes, you can lean a little. That's at least how I play it, guys. You guys can use the dynamic the way you guys want to, but this is how I'm using it to make my life simple. Now, here's the thing, Krisha. As long as they're holding daily candles above around 33,000, which is lining up with the blue dots, it's also lining up with the structure right over here. I think Bitcoin is fine. I think Bitcoin is more than fine. I think this is just an opportunity for all coins to have their moves, right? Because the market structure is still now leaning towards breaking bullish. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I'm saying that at this current point, I agree actually with the dynamic. It's neutral because it's a squeeze, like I had mentioned. So yes, we're above those blue dots, but we're also below 35,000. So it's a really, really tight zone, guys? Just letting you guys know, like, what is this compared to Bitcoin's current volatility, which is pretty much through the damn roof. This zone is like 4.92%, which is nothing when compared to the current volatility on the chart. All right, that is the current zone that we're squeezed into. So honestly, my opinion on Bitcoin is really going to, at least in the short term, guys, long term, you guys know, I am freaking bullish as hell. Okay, the short term, my opinion is going to sway depending on which side we break in.
So I'm not playing for the short term here at all, because I'm playing for this month, right? I'm playing for the month of Feb right now, and I've been accumulating my position through a bullish posture because I'm playing for the monthly to give us a surprise move. And that could happen in 2 weeks. That could happen in 3 weeks. It could happen in the last week of the month. But again, Bitcoin, the patience. One of the things that, Krisha, you know about me is that my patience is my biggest edge. Right.
Yes.
Right. I get paid by the market because I'm willing to outweight most of the rest of the market participants, and this is how I'm playing it. I'm looking at the weekly. I'm looking at the 4-day. We're seeing that weekly bull flag structure, right? Where we're seeing the 4-day still being above the dynamic. I'm going to go back to it again right now, and I've been doing the same freaking trade now for the longest time. Every time we're above the 4-day dynamic, accumulate. As soon as we're underneath, I go into my neutral/bearish posture and look for the signs to go looking for that short opportunity. But once we take back the dynamic, I get bullish again, right? And while we're still above the 40 dynamic, I'm looking to accumulate. Now, when I look at the daily and we see the daily retake the 33,000 level, I still want to accumulate. Yes, it's not as bullish as we'd like it to be because we've not taken 35,000 yet, right? I would have loved to see this candle close above 35,000, but we didn't. At the same time, we did break the downtrend, right? So usually when a trend breaks, we go into a mini consolidation, which just ends up being accumulation, and then we hunt for the higher low, which leads to the higher high, higher low, higher high. Takes some time. especially with a chart like Bitcoin that is now beginning to draw more institutional investors, bigger money coming in. The chart may move slower during the consolidations, but suddenly and surely during the impulsive moves, right? So be careful of that, guys.
Yes, sirree. But yeah, I mean, these are my thoughts on Bitcoin. You guys know, I think, Shawn, you and I have the same sort of points of resistance and support that we're both looking at. 35,000 to the upside. And, well, what was this again? This was a good 30,000 to the downside.
Yep. So now I want to talk about the next level. After 35,000, Kusha, what is your next level of resistance that you'd be looking at?
After 35,000 is going to be, well, the highs, right? That we just sort of made back in, when was this? Jan. The first week of Jan, which was going up to 40K. I think we'll likely go back up to test those highs. If we start breaking those highs, then I don't know. Blue sky breakout.
So I have a zone right over here that matches up with yours, around 40,700-ish, all the way down to 39,254. So breaking that zone, in my opinion, is going to, blue sky breakout indeed. 55,000, 60,000 is where I'd be looking at. So this is how you guys can look at this, guys. 35,500-ish. Once Bitcoin clears that level, right, it's time to keep your eyes open and be a little bit more on the cautious side. Once we clear around 40,700-ish, it's definitely time to open up your eyes and make sure that you're not caught with your pants down. That depends though. If you're trading against USD and your altcoins, I'm talking about those of you who are trading altcoins, right? And trading them aggressively at that. Be very careful. If your real goal is to collect Bitcoin, if your goal is to accumulate USD, then this may or may not matter to you, right? But it may matter if you're trying to be in the most optimal trade. And as a trader who's in a very risky market to begin with, why not be in the most optimal trade that has the lowest risk profile compared to the other assets in this space, right? But hey, those are just my thoughts. Kusha, what are your thoughts?
Shawn, I think both of us are on the same page in terms of actually optimizing the plays, because that's essentially what keeps it stress-free.
Yeah.
Right? So no, I'm completely with you on that. 100% agree. But like just Shawn just mentioned, that's how we like to play it. We like the stress-free approach, and that's why we look to optimize in such ways. Now, it's not necessary that you employ the same tactics because, well, everyone has a different sort of portfolio size. Everyone else has different risk variables that they're dealing with. So these are just tips from, well, Mango, I guess.
Yep. All right, so Kusha, to wrap up now, I'm just going to go ahead and look at all the oscillators just to get a feel for the momentum that Bitcoin might be swinging towards. I'm going to start with the weekly. You can join me on that while I just clear out the chart so we have a more neat chart. Okay, so I'm going to be starting with the weekly oscillators. Let's see what that's looking like. I'm actually taking a fresh look on this myself. So, all right, so the stochastics are looking pretty good. We did swing down and tested the bullish territory over here. The RSI too, not looking bad at all. Bouncing off the bullish territory at around 75 on the Mango Mother. This is looking good. Again, this is indicative of this continuing that structure of a bull flag, especially if we take out the high over here at around 38,000. This could have implications. Kusha, we do have bullish divergence that is threatening to place itself on the weekly time frame.
Yeah,
between
I see
the 7th of December, and this is again the kind of thing you want to see when leading towards that. Should I be accumulating over here? Is this a good time to be accumulating? Right, that thesis that you're developing. Right. So again, we're not there just yet. I still want to see this high getting taken out at around 38,000 before we see that bullish divergence get confirmed. Okay, so that's the weekly. Let's go ahead and look at the 4-day. 4-day stochastics, which are again beginning to swing up, not confirmed just yet. We'll have to wait for the next 3-day candle to get the confirmation of this bullish cross. The RSI is not telling us much, but I'd be leaning more towards the tilting slightly bearish than bullish over here. But again, it's going sideways while it's actually swinging slightly up while price is going sideways. So the 4-day RSI not telling me much over here, to be honest. You could look for bullish divergence, but I'm not going to because it's too far away. So again, the biggest thing to look at over here on the 4-day time frame, guys, is the stochastics. What would tell us what will give us a better idea is actually going to be the 2-day. So let's go ahead and look at the 2-day, even though we've not looked at the price structure there. Price structure on the 2-day, by the way, looking really nice, accumulating along the 2-day 21 EMA. By the way, shout out to Avi over there. Great trade on that one, man. Great trade. But you're not going unnoticed, bud. Not going unnoticed at all. Stochastics on the 2-day looking fantastic, by the way, Krisha. Price going sideways. Stochastics swinging all the way towards the downside, resetting itself. And now this swings bullish and crosses bullish with confirmation coming in the next 2-day candle or so. This is going to look fantastic. I'm really liking the 2-day stochastic momentum over there. Now,
Yeah,
let's...
the oscillators, so far, they're looking really good.
Yeah, looking fantastic. The big one that I do want to check at the end, Krisha, is going to be the mango wine. I've already, of course, been looking at that every single day. Oops. Okay, we're going to look at the daily oscillators now. Let's see what's going on there. Daily stochastics have swung up. RSI is actually looking good too over here. Has retaken the bullish to neutral zone over here. I'd like to start seeing it angling more, and we're likely going to see that if we start closing daily candles above 34,600. This is going to look really, really good. Okay, now the final one is going to be the 12-hour before we switch on over to the mango wine. 12-hour is actually giving us more of a accumulation signal over here rather than anything else, which kind of makes sense, right? Does make sense. We have been accumulating. What are your thoughts, Krisha, on the 12-hour? I'm not seeing much over here.
No, there's not much. I'm
Yeah,
just
giving me
looking at the
accumulation.
it's a consolidation.
Yeah,
Accumulation
consolidation,
zone.
yeah. I'm leaning towards accumulation, guys. This could very well be... I could be wrong about this, and this could be distribution, right? It's when we look at consolidations, they could be accumulation or they could be distribution. You never really know. We don't try to time that, or we don't try to be certain of that. You have a thesis and you play it. My thesis is that we're going up. Okay. But now the final one that actually really put the... nail in the coffin for the bulls for me was the 12-hour mango wine. They were not able to flip this bearish at all. They kept it bullish, Krisha, this entire freaking period, and betting against the mango wine has never ended well for us, right? Like, we've never really bet against it, but we've avoided taking some of its signals, and again, we've paid the price for that. I've stopped doing that, and it's paid off brilliantly for me. I've been using the mango wine for this accumulation. It's lining up with the 4-day, lining up with the weekly, lining up with the dynamic. We like to see that confluence. Rob talked about how he used it recently on S&P to catch some great trades on the mango wine and the mango dynamic. So again, we're beginning to see that confluence between the two, and that's what I like, confluence along multiple things that we look at, right? Structure, indicators, and hey, even the overall mindset of the market, which is, in my opinion, bullish right now. And the mango wine right over here was the biggest strong accumulation sign, and it's actually beginning to show us that we have a big move coming. That's what the wine is telling me right now. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree there. So so far, I think on those lower time frames, we're in a bit of a consolidation. High time frames, bullish as hell. The oscillators, actually, I'm actually pretty shocked at the oscillators because that's actually looking really good.
Yep, I definitely agree. You got to always look at everything, right? And at the end of the day, price action is going to be very, very important. All right, so with that, guys, we're going to be wrapping up. Krisha, do you have any final thoughts? This video was a long video. It was a more deeper analysis, which I believe is warranted considering we did just close a monthly, we closed a weekly, and Bitcoin is, in my opinion, in a pivotal zone over here where people might be falling asleep at the wheel, and I don't want that for the mango community.
No, I agree, but no, I don't have any more thoughts because, well, I think this was a pretty in-depth analysis on Bitcoin.
All right, so with that, guys, do it the mango way, do it the stress-free way. We'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.
Ciao, guys.